Hello, my dear student of class 7. So now today I am back with the first chapter, and we already did unit 1, and I am continuing the unit 2 of the first chapter from your honeycomb book. And the name of your chapter is the 3 questions. Okay, let us start it. So we already discussed about the king and the hermit. So another character was entering in this story. Let us see who is. Okay. So unit 2. The king turned round and saw a man running towards them. His hand was pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchiefs, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redresses the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. So what happened? The king turned around and saw someone is coming towards them. A bearded man is coming towards them, and he was pressing his stomach with the help of his hand, and his stomach was bleeding. Understood? He was there was some wound. Okay, and he was pressing his stomach and he is running towards them. So when that bearded man came in front of the king and the hermit, he fainted. Fainted means lost consciousness. So he lost his consciousness and he fell to the ground. And the king and the hermit removed his clothing, and the king washed his wound. He washed his blood and covered his wound with the help of his handkerchief. Okay, the king redresses means the king redresses the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. Okay, and after that let us see what happened. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. By this time the sun had set and the air was cool. The king was, with the hermit help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his work and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. So, what is happening here? So, and when the king redressed his wound until the last bleeding stopped, the man that wanted that bearded man felt better than before, and he asked something for drink. The king brought a fresh water and gave it to him. He gave a fresh water to the bearded man. And by this time the sun had already set and the air was cool. So the king, with the help of that hermit, took that bearded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. And as you know, the king was also feeling tired because he had done work before. He walked for a mile, so that's why the king was also feeling tired, and he also lay down on the ground or lay down on the floor. After that, let us see. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was and who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was now. So when he woke up, it was several minutes before he remembered that where he was and who was that strange bearded man. Who was he? And he goes to him and he asked, Okay, he asked him his introduction. So let us see what happened. Forgive me. You can look on your mobile screen also. Okay, so forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice when he saw the king was awake. Now, what happened? So when that bearded man saw a king was awake, he apologized king. He said, forgive me. I don't know you and have nothing to forgive you, said the king. And the king said that, I don't know who you are and I have nothing to forgive you for. Why are you apologizing? Now what happened? Let us see. You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who thrown revenge on you, but you put my brother to death and seized my property. I knew you had gone along to see the hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way back. So now that what that bearded man replied, you don't know me, but I know who you are. You are the king, and I came here to kill you because you killed my brother and also seized our property. So for taking revenge, I came here. I know that you. I knew that you had gone alone to meet hermit. So I made my mind to kill you when you were returning back to your home. Understood? So that bearded man was the enemy of the king who came to kill king. Okay, so but the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard who recognized me and wanted me. I escaped from him and I should have died if you not dressed my wounds. I wish to kill you and you have saved my life. Now if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant and will order my son to do the same. Forgive me. So now that bearded man said to king that I came here to kill you. I have made my mind to kill you. So I just want to kill you when you returning back to your home. But the day passed, you did not return, and I come upon from my hiding place. I left my hiding place and I came across to your bodyguard, and your bodyguard recognized me and he wanted me, and somehow I escaped from your bodyguard. I wish to kill you, but you saved my life, and if I live further, I am ready to be your faithful servant. I am ready to be your faithful servant. And then the bearded man again apologizing, and the bearded man again said, please forgive me. Now the king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily and to have won him over as his friend. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servant and his own doctor to look after him, and he promised to give back the man his property. Now, so what happened? So and the king was feeling very, very happy. Now the king was feeling very very happy after listening to that man. After listening to that man, the king decided to give back his property, and he also want to send him to the doctor, and he promised that bearded man to return his all property whatever is by him. Leaving the wanted man, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answer to his question, The hermit was on his knees, sowing seeds in the beds that had been dug the day before. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my question, wise man." So, after having that, what happened? The king was about to leave to his palace, and he decided to ask that three questions again to the hermit, and he went to the hermit. The hermit was on his knees, and he was sowing the beds that had been dug the day before. So the king went up and to the hermit and said, the king said that, "I am here for the last time. I beg to you to answer my question. Please answer my question, wise man. Now I am leaving home. Now I am leaving to my palace. So before leaving, I want to know the answer of this question." So for the last time, king was asking for the answer to the hermit. Now let us see what happened. "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up the king as he stood before him. Now, so that hermit replied, "You already got your answer, dear king." And he was still bending down his knees, and he was still sowing the beds. And he said that, "You already got your answer." "How I have been answered? What do you mean?" Now what happened? The king was confused. No? When hermit said, "You already got your answer," the king was confused, and he asked, "How? What do you mean by this? How have I been answered? How have I been answered? What do you mean by this?" So the king was again asking the question. Okay, so what happened next? Let us see. "Did you see?" replied the hermit. "If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him, because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business." Now, so hermit replied, "Did you see?" Hermit replied, "Did you see? If you did not help me, if you did not pity my weakness yesterday, and if you did not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away, because that bearded man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business." And what happening? But you helped, you helped me, you stayed with me. So due to which you are saved now. And the most important thing, or the most important thing, is to help me. And what happened? So when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him, because if you had not dressed his wound, he would have died without having a peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was the most important business for you. Remember then, there is only one time that is important, and that time is now. it is the most important time because it is the only time we have and power to act. So now Hermit further said the most important time for anyone is present, that is now, because it is the only time when you have power to act on, because present is the only time we have power to act on. So the most important time is now, that means present, because in the present we have power to act something or to do something. Okay, the most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment, for no one knows what will happen in the futures and whether we will meet anyone else. The most important business to do that person good, because we were sent into the world for that purpose alone. Now the Hermit again answered, or Hermit again said that the most necessary person is the person with whom you are at a particular time. The most necessary person is the person you are with at a specific time or a particular moment. Okay, and because we don't know about our future, whether we will meet anyone else or not, so we need to care, we need to love the person, whoever in front of me in the present time. So the most important business is to do that person good, to care that person nicely, to respect that person, and to help that person is the most important business. And we were sent into this world for that purpose only. In this way, Hermit replied to the king. So what happened? The most important time is the present time. No, because the past has gone away and the future is uncertain. The Hermit wants to tell that the most important time is present because the past has gone away and the future is uncertain. So the moral of this story is to live in the present rather than grumbling about the past and being anxious about future. So be happy and just care about the person with whom you are staying. That is the most important thing to do for us. If we give respect, and then only we take respect. So in this story we came to know that to live in the present is better than grumbling about the past, and we are anxious about our future also. So this is the